Listen to me very carefully because what I'm about to tell you is the difference between having enough money for your heart medication this week or getting a notification from your bank that your account is overdrawn. You pull up to the gas station. Maybe it's a Shell, maybe it's a local Speedway. You're tired, you just want to get home, so you do what everyone does. You swipe your debit card right there at the pump. You put in $20, maybe $30 of gas. You drive away feeling fine. But what you didn't see, and what the gas station definitely doesn't want you to see, is that the moment you swipe that plastic, $150 vanished. It's not a glitch. It's not a mistake. It's a calculated legal hold that can paralyze your bank account for up to 3 business days. But wait, why on earth would they take $150 for a $20 tank? If you're living on a fixed income or waiting for that Social Security check to hit on Wednesday, this phantom charge can trigger a cascade of $35 overdraft fees. I've seen seniors lose $200 in one single afternoon. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain on why big oil and the banks are playing footsie with your retirement money. I'm going to give you the $100 hack that stops them cold. Let's get real for a second. I'm also going to show you exactly how to protect your identity from the new wave of high-tech thieves targeting our community at the pump. Don't touch that dial. This is information they literally cannot afford for you to know. Let me tell you about Margaret. She's 72, lives in Houston, and she's as sharp as a tack. Last month, she put $15 of gas in her Buick and headed straight to the grocery store to pick up dinner. She got to the register, swiped her card, and declined. Imagine the humiliation. A line of people behind her, frozen peas melting in the cart, and she knew she had $200 in that account. Where did it go? The gas station had placed a $175 hold on her funds. She spent the next 3 days fighting with Chase Bank just to get her own money back. Does that sound like a convenience to you? Of course not. It's a trap. And it's a trap that's perfectly legal under current banking regulations. But just because it's legal doesn't mean you have to be the victim. We're going to fix this starting right now. Make sense? Before we dive into the solution, we need to talk about the why. Why does a $20 fill-up turn into a $150 nightmare? The answer is uglier than you think. Let's look at the dirty secret of the float. Look, why on earth do they do this? It's called a pre-authorization hold, and it's basically a fancy way of saying the bank doesn't trust you for even a single second. When you swipe that debit card at the pump, the gas station has no idea if you're driving a tiny moped or a massive Ford F-150 with a 36-gallon tank. They're nervous about getting their cut. So before a single drop of gas hits your tank, the station sends a digital ping to your bank. They essentially say, hey, hold on to $150 or $175 just in case this person fills up a literal boat. Now, here's where it gets slimy. The gas station gets their actual $30 the very second you hang up the nozzle. But your bank? They don't release that $150 hold immediately. They let it sit. You might think that money is just resting in a digital vault, but you'd be wrong. It's called the float. While that money is pending in your account, it's not just sitting there doing nothing. The bank is actually using your $150 and the $150 from millions of other people to fund overnight loans to other big institutions. They are making a killing on interest using your grocery money. Imagine if you let a friend borrow your car, but they decided to drive for Uber in it while you were sleeping and kept all the profit. That's exactly what the bank is doing. They are making billions in interest off these tiny holds across millions of accounts. And who does it hurt the most? It's not the guys in the mahogany offices. It's the people on a budget. If you're waiting for that Social Security deposit to hit, every dollar in your account is like a soldier on the front lines. When the bank kidnaps 150 of your soldiers, your whole defense collapses. And don't even get me started on the overdraft protection scam. The bank protects you by letting a $4 coffee go through, then hitting you with a $35 fee because that gas hold is still pending. It's a perfect profit loop for them. They use your money to make money, then charge you a fee for not having the money they are currently using. You literally can't make this stuff up. So why isn't this illegal? Well, because the banking lobby has more friends in DC than a golden retriever at a dog park. They call it risk management, but we know it's just wallet vacuuming. But here's the kicker. This isn't even the scariest part of the transaction. There's a specific reason they want you to stay at the pump and never go inside to talk to a human. They've designed the whole experience to be as frictionless as possible. Swipe, pump, leave. They want you in a hurry so you don't have time to think about the math or the pending status. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how the check balance feature on some ATMs is slow, but the withdraw cash button works at the speed of light? It's all by design, my friends. They want the money moving out, not the information moving in. They rely on our convenience to pad their bottom line. But once you see the strings, the puppet show is over. Now that you know the why, you're probably getting as fired up as I am. Good. You should be. Because once you're angry, you're finally ready to learn how to break their rigged system. I'm about to show you the $100 hack that bypasses this entire mess. But before we get to the how, we need to talk about the when, because there's a danger zone time for pumping. If you pump on a Friday afternoon, you are in for a world of hurt compared to a Tuesday morning. Why? Because the banking weekend is the greatest thief of senior wealth in America. Ready to see how we're going to flip the script on these guys? Let's dive into the master plan and get your financial shield locked in place. You're going to love this next part. All right, enough about how they're out to get us. Let's talk about how we get them. We're going to build a financial fortress around your checking account so these banks can't touch a penny they haven't earned. There are three main ways to handle this, ranging from the old school method to what I call the high-yield hack. Let's start with the one that is 100% guaranteed to work every single time. Method 1, the inside move. It sounds simple, almost too simple. You walk inside. I know. Your knees might be acting up, or maybe it's pouring rain outside in Florida. But that 30-foot walk to the cashier is worth exactly $150 in peace of mind. When you go to the counter, you look that person in the eye and say, I want exactly $20 on pump 4. When you pay inside for a preset amount, the hold mechanism is completely bypassed. The bank sees a flat $20 transaction. There's no estimate, no ping, and no phantom charge waiting to bite you. You are in total control of your cash flow. If they tell you the machine outside is faster, tell them you've got all the time in the world. It's your money and you're the boss. Now let's get to the real secret sauce. Method 2, the $100 gift card strategy. This is the hack I promised you in the title, and it's a total game changer for anyone on a budget. If you're like most of my viewers, you probably have a favorite station. Maybe you're a Costco loyalist or you hit the Kroger pumps because you like those fuel points. Here is what you do. Next time you're doing your grocery shopping, go to the gift card rack or the customer service desk. Buy a $100 gas gift card for that specific station using your debit card right there at the register. Why does this work? Because when you use a gas station's own gift card at their pump, the system doesn't need to guess how much money you have. The value is already on the card. There is almost never a pre-authorization hold on a branded gift card. If you put in $22.50 worth of gas, the card balance just drops by $22.50. No drama, no pending nonsense, no bank involvement. But wait, it gets even better. By buying that gift card inside the grocery store, you're often double dipping on rewards. At places like Walmart or Kroger, you're racking up points while protecting your main account. It's like putting your gas money in a separate tiny safe that only you and the pump have the combination to. The big bank sharks are left swimming in circles because they can't see the transaction. Now, if you really want to play the game at the highest level, we have to talk about method 3, the credit shield. This is for my folks who are comfortable managing a monthly bill. Listen to me. If you have a credit card, and I mean a real credit card, not a debit card with a Visa logo, use it for gas. Every single time. Why? Because of who is at risk. When you use a debit card, that's your money. That's your rent, your meds, your grandkids' birthday gifts. When that money is held, it's your life that gets put on pause. But when you use a credit card, that's the bank's money. If a gas station puts a $150 hold on a credit card, who cares? It just temporarily lowers your credit limit by a tiny fraction. Your checking account stays untouched. Your check's still clear. Your life keeps moving. Plus, you get the protection of the Fair Credit Billing Act, the strongest consumer law in the United States. If a scammer steals your debit info, your cash is gone instantly, and you have to beg the bank to give it back. If they steal your credit info, you just call the bank and say, "Not mine." The bank has to prove it was you, rather than you proving it wasn't. See the difference? You're making the bank the bodyguard of your wealth instead of the thief of your time. And here's a pro tip for the debit-only crowd. If the pump asks debit or credit, always hit credit if you can. It doesn't turn it into a credit card, but it processes it differently. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes choosing the credit option on a debit card will route the transaction through a different network that uses a smaller hold or even no hold at all. Lastly, keep an eye out for the zip code for each prompt. Many stations use your zip code as a security token. If the system sees your zip matches your card, it might trust you more. It sounds like a lot to remember, right? Don't worry. I'm going to give you a cheat sheet at the end of this video that you can stick on your fridge. But first we have to talk, because even if you use the $100 hack, there is a ghost in the machine that can still ruin your day. We're moving from banking scams to the world of high-tech skimmer mafia. If you think a hold on your money is bad, wait until you hear how they're using invisible lasers to clone your card in under 3 seconds. You need to see this next part. Now listen up, because even if you follow my $100 hack to the letter, there's another monster hiding in the shadows. I'm talking about the skimmer mafia. These guys are pros. You've probably heard of skimmers, those bulky plastic things criminals snap over the card reader. They used to be easy to spot like a bad toupee on a windy day, but things have changed. The new tech is called a shimmer. It's as thin as a piece of paper and sits inside the card slot. You can't see it, you can't feel it, but it's reading your chip data. If you think your secure chip makes you invincible, think again. These shimmers are designed specifically to bypass that security and clone your card while you're busy looking at the gas price. So how do you defend yourself? You start with the wiggle test. Before you even think about sliding your card into that machine, I want you to grab that plastic reader and shake it. Give it a real good tug. If it moves, if it feels loose, or if the plastic looks a slightly different shade of gray than the rest of the pump, walk away immediately. Don't be polite. Actually, don't just walk away, drive to a different station. If one pump is compromised, chances are the hackers have hit the whole row while the cashier was busy staring at their phone. Here's another secret the security experts won't tell you. Where you park matters. Thieves love the pumps at the very end of the row, furthest from the front door. Why? Privacy. They can install a skimmer on an end pump in under 5 seconds without the cashier ever seeing them. Always, and I mean always, pick the pump directly in front of the window. The closer you are to the cashier's line of sight, the safer your data is. Criminals hate an audience. They want to operate in the shadows, not under the nose of the management. Now, let's talk about those mockney gas discount apps like Upside or GasBuddy. I know they're popular. I know they promise to save you 25 cents a gallon, but there's a catch. In the tech world, there's a saying, if you aren't paying for the product, you are the product. These apps aren't just giving you money out of the goodness of their hearts. They are tracking your location 24/7. They know where you live, where you shop, which doctor you visit, and how often you go to the pharmacy. They sell that data. To them, your privacy is worth way more than the $1.50 you saved on your fill-up. Is your personal life really that cheap? I don't think so. Stay private. Stay safe. And what about tap to pay? You see those little radio wave symbols on the pump? Most people think they're safer because you don't insert the card. Well, yes and no. While tap to pay is generally more secure against physical shimmers, hackers now have long-range scanners. They can sit in a car 10 feet away and sniff your card's signal. It sounds like something out of a James Bond movie, but it's happening in parking lots from New Jersey to California every single day. Your data is literally flying through the air. This is why I told you earlier to get a shielded wallet. For $10 on Amazon, you can get a sleeve that blocks those radio signals. It's the cheapest insurance you'll ever buy. Think of it like a seatbelt for your checking account. You hope you never need it, but boy, are you glad it's there when things go sideways. Does that make sense? We've covered the banks stealing your float and the hackers stealing your data. Now it's time to put it all together into a bulletproof plan for your wallet. I'm going to give you my weekly financial defense checklist. If you do these three things, you'll be in the top 1% of the most protected seniors in America. Let's get to it. All right, look, knowledge is great, but action is what actually keeps the lights on and the fridge full. We've covered the scams, the float, and the hackers, so let's get you a battle plan. I want you to treat your bank account like a fortress. You worked 40 years to build it. Don't let a gas station pending charge tear down the walls in 40 seconds. Here is your homework. Step 1, I want you to pull out your phone right now. Seriously, do it with me. Open your banking app and scroll down to your pending transactions. Do you see any gas charges there? If you see a hold from 3 days ago that still hasn't cleared, you need to pick up the phone. Don't wait for it to fix itself. Call the number on the back of your card. When the representative answers, don't be shy. You say these exact words, I am a senior on a fixed income, and this unauthorized hold is causing me financial hardship. Mark my words, that phrase, financial hardship, is a giant red flag for their compliance department. It's like a get-out-of-jail-free card. Most of the time, they can release that hold manually in minutes. Step 2, create your emergency pump fund. Find an old envelope, write gas only on the front in big letters, and put $40 in cash inside. Keep it in your glove box. If the power goes out, or if you see a sketchy-looking pump and don't want to use your card, you're covered. You'll never be stranded because some machine didn't like your zip code. Step 3, spend the $10. Go on Amazon or have your grandkid help you find an RFID blocking wallet. It's the cheapest peace of mind you will ever buy in this digital age. Think about it, you wouldn't leave your front door wide open at night, right? So why leave your card's signal floating around in the air for any thief with a scanner to grab? I know this all sounds like a lot of work. But let's be real. The people running these big oil companies and massive banks are banking on the fact that you'll be too tired to care. They want us to be quiet, submissive, and just accept their fees as a fact of life. Well, I've got news for them. We're not going anywhere and we're getting smarter. You have the tools now. You are officially the most informed person at the gas station. When you see your neighbor swiping their debit card at the pump, maybe pull them aside. Tell them about the $100 hack. Show them the wiggle test. We have to look out for each other because the bureaucrats in Washington certainly aren't doing it for us. If this video saved you even one $35 overdraft fee, then I've done my job today. That's $35 that stays in your pocket for things that actually matter. Do me a huge favor if you found this helpful, share it with one person, just one friend at your bridge club, your church, or your local VFW. Let's start a movement. And listen, I'm just getting started. This is what I do. I hunt down the people trying to nickel and dime our community, and I bring the truth right to your screen. Hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you don't miss my next deep dive. Next week, I'm exposing the hidden fees in Medicare Part D that are draining accounts. You work too hard for your money to let it slip away in a pending transaction or a service fee. Stay safe out there, stay vigilant, and keep your guard up. I'm so proud of this community we're building. We're taking the power back, 1 gallon of gas at a time. I'll see you in the next one. God bless.